Staff Sergeant Kate Miller wiped sweat from her brow as she moved carefully through the dense forest of Proxima B. The twin suns filtered through the canopy, creating dappled light on the forest floor. The air smelled like copper and something alien, something she still hadn't gotten used to after 3 months on this planet. "Miller, take point." Lieutenant Wright's voice crackled through her comm. "We've got unusual readings half a click north." "Copy that," Kate replied, adjusting her medical pack before moving ahead of the squad. As a combat medic attached to the 75th Ranger Regiment, Kate was used to following blood trails. Usually, they led to wounded comrades. This trail, however, was different. The droplets shimmered with an iridescent purple hue that no human blood possessed. Kate signaled for the squad to slow down as she studied the ground. "Sir, we've got signs of combat, and this blood, it's Vraxian." Wright appeared at her shoulder, his weathered face tightening as he examined the scene. "Looks like someone got one of them." "Good. Keep moving, but stay alert. Could be more of them around." The squad continued their patrol, but Kate found herself drawn to the blood trail. It veered east from their planned route. Something about the pattern suggested a desperate retreat rather than an organized withdrawal. "Sir, requesting permission to check something," Kate said, pointing to where the blood disappeared into thicker brush. Wright hesitated. "Make it quick. Take Rivera with you. You've got 10 minutes before we circle back for you." Kate nodded, and Private Rivera fell in beside her as they followed the increasingly heavy blood trail. Whatever was bleeding wouldn't last long at this rate. "I don't like this," Rivera muttered. "Vraxians don't leave their wounded behind. It could be a trap." Kate knew he was right, but something didn't add up. "The pattern's wrong for an ambush. Look at the drag marks. Whatever's bleeding is alone and injured badly." The trail led them to a small cave entrance nearly hidden by thick vegetation. Kate activated her scanner and waited for the readings. "One life form. Weak vital signs," she whispered. "I'm going in." "That's crazy," Rivera hissed. "If it's a Vraxian, it'll kill you before you can say hello." Kate removed her helmet, letting her brown hair fall free. "If it could kill me, it would have set up an ambush. It's dying, Rivera. Stand watch and alert me if the squad heads this way." Before he could protest further, Kate ducked into the cave, her hand resting on her sidearm while the other clutched her medical scanner. The cave opened wider after a narrow entrance. There, propped against the far wall, was a Vraxian. Female, Kate thought, noting the more delicate crest along the alien's skull. Her silver-blue skin was dulled with dust and splattered with purple blood. Multiple wounds marked her torso and leg. The Vraxian's eyes snapped open, vertical pupils dilating in the dim light. She reached weakly for a weapon that wasn't there. "Easy," Kate said, raising her empty hand. "I'm a medic. The alien hissed something unintelligible, clearly a threat despite her weakened state. Kate noticed sophisticated equipment scattered around the Vraxian, specialized weapons and stealth gear. This wasn't an ordinary soldier. This was an assassin. Military. Protocol was clear. Report enemy combatants immediately, especially high-value targets like assassins. But Kate's medical training ran deeper than military protocol. The Vraxian would die without immediate help. The wounds were severe, at least 3 projectile entries and significant blood loss. Kate made her decision and slowly removed her medical pack. "I don't know if you understand me," she said softly, "but I'm going to try to help you." The Vraxian watched her with suspicious eyes but didn't resist as Kate began to assess her wounds. Outside, Rivera called a warning that the squad was calling for them. "Tell them we've found nothing and are heading back," Kate replied, already applying pressure to the worst of the alien's wounds. She knew what she was doing could be considered treason. Yet as the Vraxian's eyes fluttered between consciousness and darkness, Kate couldn't bring herself to leave. Something told her this encounter would change everything. Kate returned to the cave after midnight, her backpack heavy with stolen medical supplies. She'd made excuses to stay behind at base camp, claiming inventory duty, then slipped away when the others slept. The alien assassin lay exactly where Kate had left her, though her breathing seemed more labored. "I'm back," Kate whispered, kneeling beside the Vraxian. "I brought better supplies," The alien's eyes opened slowly, those strange vertical pupils widening in the darkness. She made a series of clicking sounds that Kate couldn't understand. Kate laid out her supplies methodically. Antiseptic, synthetic blood-clotting agents, bandages, painkillers, and a small portable scanner she'd borrowed from the medical tent. She wasn't sure if human medicine would work on Vraxian physiology, but she had to try. "This might hurt," Kate said, applying antiseptic to the worst wound, a bullet hole in the alien's upper torso. The Vraxian hissed in pain but didn't move away. Kate worked carefully, cleaning each wound before applying the clotting agent. The scanner helped her locate a bullet still embedded in the alien's thigh. She would need to remove it. "I need to get this out," Kate explained, showing the scanner screen to the alien. The Vraxian studied the image, then pointed to a small pouch on her belt. Kate opened it carefully, finding strange tools that must be the alien equivalent of a medical kit. Among them was something that looked like forceps. "Is this what you use?" Kate asked, holding up the instrument. The alien nodded once. Kate took a deep breath and began the extraction process. The Vraxian remained still despite what must have been excruciating pain. Kate worked quickly, finally removing the bullet with a wet sound. Purple blood oozed from the wound before Kate pressed a bandage against it. "You're tough," Kate said with grudging admiration. A human would have passed out. While bandaging the wounds, Kate noticed something strange at the base of the alien's neck. A small metallic device partially exposed where skin had been torn away. It looked like some kind of implant with tiny lights blinking erratically. "What's this?" Kate asked, pointing to the device. The Vraxian touched the implant and made frustrated clicking sounds. She mimed speaking, then pointed to her throat and shook her head. "A translator?" Kate guessed. "It's damaged?" The alien nodded vigorously. Kate examined the device more closely. She wasn't a tech specialist, but she'd done field repairs on medical equipment before. The implant seemed to have some loose connections and a cracked casing. "I might be able to fix this," Kate said, reaching for her multi-tool. No promises, though. Working with the delicacy of a surgeon, Kate reconnected what looked like broken circuits and sealed the cracked casing with medical adhesive. The lights on the device stopped blinking and stabilized to a steady blue glow. The Vraxian touched the newly repaired implant. When she spoke again, her clicks and hisses were followed by halting, accented English. "You help enemy. Why?" Kate sat back on her heels, surprised to hear understandable words. "I'm a medic. That's what I do." "Your people. Kill mine. You should kill me." "That's not who I am," Kate replied simply. The alien studied her with those strange eyes. "I am Nix Allah. I'm Kate Miller. Kate Miller saved enemy assassin, not wise." Kate smiled slightly. "Probably not, but it was the right thing to do." Nix Allah closed her eyes briefly. "I owe life debt, not forgotten." As dawn approached, Kate packed up her supplies. "I have to go before I'm missed. I'll come back tonight with food and more medicine." As she turned to leave, Nixala reached out, grasping Kate's wrist with four-fingered hands. "Danger," the alien warned. "If found, both die." Kate nodded solemnly. "I know, but I'll be careful." Walking back to camp in the early morning light, Kate wondered what she had started and where it would lead. Over the next 3 days, Kate visited Nixala whenever she could slip away. The alien's translator worked better each time, allowing them to communicate more clearly. On the fourth night, Kate arrived with troubling news. "We've been ordered back to main base," Kate said as she changed Nixala's bandages. "My unit leaves tomorrow morning." Nixala sat up straighter, her wounds healing faster than Kate had expected. "You go with your people. Debt remains unpaid." Kate shook her head. "I can't just leave you here. Patrols come through this area regularly. You're still too weak to travel far on your own." "I survive," Nixala insisted, but Kate noticed the alien assassin couldn't fully hide a wince of pain as she shifted position. Kate checked her watch. She had 3 hours before she needed to return to camp. There's a network of caves 2 kilometers east. It's closer to water and further from patrol routes. If we leave now, I can help you get there before I have to report back. Nixala considered this. Why risk more for enemy? Kate paused, unsure herself why she was taking such chances. I don't know. Maybe I just don't see you as the enemy anymore. The alien studied her with those vertical pupilled eyes. Curious human. She gathered her few possessions. We go. Kate helped Nixala stand. The Vraxian was taller than she appeared when lying down, nearly 7 feet of lean muscle and silver blue skin. Kate offered her shoulder for support, surprised, when the alien accepted it. They moved slowly through the darkened forest. The night was filled with the strange calls of Proxima B's native creatures. Kate kept her sidearm ready with her free hand. Your mission? Kate said quietly as they walked. What were you doing so far from Vraxian territory? Nixala was silent for several steps. Hunting trader. Vraxian who sells secrets to humans. And you found them? Yes. Completed mission, but ambushed after. My commander. Nixala's voice took on a bitter tone. Set trap. Wanted me dead. Your own commander tried to kill you? Kate asked, shocked. Politics. I know too much. See too much corruption. They fell silent as they crossed a small clearing. The twin moons of Proxima B cast enough light to see by, but also made them more visible to any watching eyes. Halfway to the new caves, they heard a rustling in the undergrowth ahead. Kate drew her weapon as Nixala tensed beside her. From the bushes emerged a Krell, a predator native to Proxima B. It resembled a cross between a wolf and a lizard, with 6 legs and rows of sharp teeth. It growled, sensing wounded prey. Don't move, Kate whispered. They attack what runs. The Krell crouched, preparing to spring. Kate aimed carefully, but before she could fire, Nixala produced a small device from her belt. She pressed a button, sending out a high-pitched sound that made the Krell whine in pain and retreat. Hunting tool, Nixala explained. FX Krell, hearing. That could have been useful to know earlier, Kate said with a nervous laugh. Not trust you fully before, Nixala admitted. Now, more trust. They reached the new caves just as Kate's deadline approached. The cave system was larger and drier than the previous one, with a small stream running nearby. This is better, Kate said, helping Nixala settle inside. I've brought enough supplies to last you a week. By then, you should be strong enough to move on your own. Nixala caught Kate's wrist as she turned to leave. You return? Kate hesitated. The main base was 30 kilometers away. Sneaking out would be much harder. I'll try, she promised. But it might be several days. Nixala released her grip. Kate Miller different than expected. Vraxians told humans all monsters. Not true. We say the same about you, Kate replied, with a small smile. Maybe we're both wrong. As Kate hurried back to camp, she realized something had fundamentally changed. She was no longer just helping a wounded being. She was becoming friends with the enemy. Kate found ways to slip away from the main base over the next 2 weeks. She volunteered for perimeter patrols and scouting missions that brought her close enough to the caves to visit Nixala. With each visit, she found the alien assassin stronger and more talkative. Lieutenant Wright asked questions about my patrol. Reports, Kate said one evening as she entered the cave. He knows something's off. Nixala was standing near the cave entrance practicing what looked like combat forms. Fluid, graceful movements that reminded Kate of martial arts. The Vraxian's wounds had healed to purple scars across her silver-blue skin. Dangerous for you, Nixala said, stopping her exercise. No more visits. Kate shook her head and unpacked the rations she'd brought. I'll be more careful. Besides, I brought something special today. She held up a data tablet. I thought you might want to learn more about humans. Nixala approached, curious. Her movements were almost completely back to normal, fluid and predatory. Exchange knowledge, fair trade. They sat side by side as Kate showed images of Earth, oceans, mountains, cities, and forests. Nixala studied each one with intense focus. Your world, much water, the alien noted. What's your home planet like? Kate asked. Dry, red stone, 3 moons. Nixala's fingers traced over the tablet screen. Cities built in mountain caves, beautiful at night. As dusk approached, Nixala rose and motioned for Kate to follow her outside the cave. There, in a small clearing, the alien began to demonstrate combat movements. I teach. Payment for healing. Kate smiled. You don't need to pay me back. Want to? Nixala insisted. Valuable skills. Vraxian shadow fighting. Few outsiders learn. For the next hour, Kate followed Nixala's instructions, learning movements unlike any human combat style. The alien adjusted Kate's posture with gentle corrections, showing her how to use an opponent's momentum against them. You learn quick, Nixala said with approval. Good balance. As they finished, Kate glanced at her watch and sighed. I need to get back soon, but first there's something I've been wanting to ask you. Nixala waited silently. The war between our species, how did it start? We're told the Vraxians attacked our colony ships without warning. The alien's expression shifted subtly. Not true. First contact, human ship fired on Vraxian scout. Thought threat. Mistake on both sides. Then, politicians, military leaders found war profitable. That's not what our history says, Kate said slowly. History written by leaders, Nixala replied. Same for Vraxians. Told humans are savages. Truth in middle. As darkness fell, they returned to the cave. Kate hesitated before leaving. Tomorrow my unit is being sent to intercept a Vraxian supply convoy. Is it? She struggled with her conscience. Is it a trap? Nixala stared at her intently. Location? Western, Ridge Sector 7. The alien was silent for a long moment. Ambush planned, 3 squads with heavy weapons. She pointed to specific locations on Kate's map. Here, here, and here. Kate's heart raced. You're certain? Was part of planning before mission to kill traitor. Information current when I left. If I warn my unit, they'll want to know my source. Say. Found Vraxian communication device, Nixala suggested. Not complete lie. Kate nodded slowly. This information could save many lives, thank you. As Kate turned to leave, Nixala touched her arm. Kate Miller, be careful. If discovered helping me. I know the risks, Kate replied. Why take them? Nixala asked, genuine confusion in her voice. Kate thought for a moment. Because I'm starting to think this war is based on lies, and because I consider you a friend. The word seemed to startle the alien assassin. Friend, Nixala repeated, as if testing an unfamiliar concept. Strange word, good word. Walking back, to base under the alien stars, Kate wondered what would happen if others could see what she now saw. That their supposed enemy was not so different after all. Kate stood at attention as Lieutenant Wright pinned the commendation medal to her uniform. The intelligence she had provided about the Vraxian ambush had saved their entire unit. No one questioned how she had found the abandoned Vraxian communications device that supposedly contained the information. Your quick thinking saved lives, Staff Sergeant Miller, Wright said as the small ceremony concluded. The Colonel has requested you join a special reconnaissance mission. We leave at 600 tomorrow. Kate's stomach tightened. Where will we be? Deployed, sir? Western Caves, Sector 9. Intelligence suggests Vraxian activity in the area. Sector 9, less than a kilometer from where Nixala was hiding. Kate kept her expression neutral as panic rose within her. Understood, sir. I'll be ready. Later that night, Kate slipped away from base. She ran most of the way to Nixala's cave, arriving breathless and anxious. You must leave, she said as soon as she entered. My unit is being sent to search this area tomorrow. Nixala was cleaning her weapons, strange devices that looked both ancient and advanced at the same time. She looked up calmly. Because of ambush warning? Yes. They think there might be more Vraxian activity here. Kate paced the cave. You're strong enough to travel now. You need to go back to your people. Not possible, Nixala said quietly. Told you. Commander wants me dead. Then go somewhere else. Anywhere but here. Nixala set down her weapon. Have discovered something. Need to show you. The alien retrieved a small device from her gear and activated it. A holographic map appeared, showing various locations marked with symbols Kate didn't recognize. What is this? Kate asked. Supply routes for both sides. Nixala pointed to several intersecting lines. Same ships, same companies. Kate stared at the map, trying to understand. What do you mean, same companies? Corporations sell to both humans and Vraxians. War profitable. Leaders on both sides paid to continue fighting. Kate sank down beside Nixala, studying the map more closely. The implications were staggering. You're saying the entire war is a business arrangement? That we're all just pawns? Yes. Why Commander wanted me dead. Discovered this. Nixela's eyes held a deep sadness. Many die for profit. Kate thought of her friends who hadn't made it home, of families destroyed, all possibly for a lie. We need proof, something concrete we can show to others. Main records kept at Central Communications Hub, Nixala said, pointing to a location on the map. Heavily guarded. They spent hours discussing possibilities, forming the beginnings of a plan. Dawn was approaching when Kate finally prepared to leave. I'll be back tomorrow night after our patrol, she said. We'll figure this out. As Kate neared the base, she noticed someone waiting in the shadows near the perimeter. Private Jack Bennett, a young soldier from her unit. Miller, he said quietly. Where have you been? Kate's mind raced for an excuse. Couldn't sleep, went for a walk. Bennett stepped closer. For 6 hours? In the same direction you've been sneaking off to for weeks? Kate's hand moved subtly toward her sidearm. What are you talking about? I followed you tonight, Bennett admitted. I saw everything. The alien, the maps, your little planning session. Kate felt the blood drain from her face. Bennett, it's not what you think. Really? Because it looks like treason to me. His voice hardened. Fraternizing with the enemy, sharing intelligence. You don't understand. The war. It's not what we've been told. Kate took a step toward him. People are dying for corporate profits. Bennett's face showed conflict. Even if that's true, going rogue isn't the answer. Then what is? Kate demanded. Following orders while people die for a lie? Before Bennett could respond, the base alarm sounded. The early patrol was preparing to depart. I have to report this, Bennett said. Please, Kate whispered. Give me time to prove what we've found. Bennett hesitated, looking torn. You have until we return from patrol. Then I decide. As they walked back to base in tense silence, Kate knew everything had changed. Time was running out for her and Nixela. Kate kept her eyes fixed straight ahead as the patrol moved through the dense forest. Private Bennett walked several paces behind her, his presence a constant reminder of the sword hanging over her head. Lieutenant Wright led the group, occasionally checking coordinates on his wrist device. We're approaching the target area, Wright announced. Spread out, standard search pattern. The squad dispersed among the trees. Kate maneuvered to take the section closest to Nix Isla's cave, hoping to lead the search away from it. Bennett followed her, clearly unwilling to let her out of his sight. You're making a mistake, Miller, he whispered as they moved between the tall purple-leaved trees. Whatever that alien told you is manipulation. Kate kept her voice low. I've seen the evidence, Bennett. This war is a sham. Their argument was cut short by a shout from the other side of the clearing. One of the soldiers had found something. Footprints. That didn't match human boot patterns. Kate's heart raced as Wright ordered everyone to converge on the location. The tracks led away from Nixala's cave, but they were fresh. Had she fled already? Before Kate could process this, A burst of weapons fire erupted from the trees. The squad dove for cover as energy bolts scorched the air around them. Contact. Front, Wright shouted. Return fire. Kate took position behind a fallen log, trying to identify the attackers. They weren't Vraxian. The weapon signature was wrong. They appeared to be human mercenaries with advanced gear. The firefight lasted, only minutes before the attackers retreated. As the squad regrouped, Wright received an urgent communication. Base reports an intruder, he said grimly. We're ordered back immediately. His eyes fixed on Kate. And Miller, you're specifically requested for questioning. Kate felt her blood run cold. Bennett must have sent a message before the patrol. The return to base was tense and swift. Armed guards met them at the perimeter, and Kate was immediately separated from the others and escorted to the command center. Inside, Colonel Harris waited with a hard expression. On a screen behind him was a freeze frame from a security camera. Kate, meeting with Nick Sala. Staff Sergeant Miller, Harris said coldly. You are charged with treason, providing aid to the enemy, and espionage. Private Bennett submitted his report this morning along with evidence he collected while following you. Kate stood rigidly, mind racing. Sir, I can explain. Save it for the military tribunal. Harris cut her off. You'll be transported to headquarters tomorrow for formal processing. Two guards led Kate to the detention cell, a reinforced container at the edge of the base. They confiscated her equipment and locked her inside. Hours passed as Kate sat on the narrow cot considering her options. There were none. By tomorrow she would be on a transport ship headed for court-martial. Near midnight, she heard a strange sound from the ventilation duct overhead. The metal grate shifted, and to her astonishment, Nick Sala's face appeared in the opening. Kate Miller in trouble, the alien whispered. Come. How did you get inside the base? Kate asked in amazement. Assassin, Nick Sala replied simply, as if that explained everything. With remarkable speed and silence, Nick Sala disabled the cell's locking mechanism and helped Kate through the ventilation system. They emerged near the base perimeter where the alien had already cut a section of the fence. We must hurry, Nick Sala said. Alarm will sound soon. As they prepared to slip through the opening, a figure stepped from the shadows. Kate raised the weapon Nick Sala had given her, then froze when she recognized Sergeant Ben Foster, the unit's communications specialist. I thought I might find you here, Foster said quietly. Are you going to stop us? Kate asked, keeping her voice steady. Foster looked between Kate and Nick Sala, then at the base behind them. No, I'm coming with you. Kate stared at him in shock. What? I've been monitoring communications for months, Foster explained rapidly. I've seen the same evidence you have. The corporations, the fake supply routes, all of it. An alarm began blaring across the base. Decision time, Nick Sala said urgently. Kate looked at Foster, seeing the determination in his eyes. You understand you'll be labeled a deserter? Better that than a pawn, he replied. Together, the three of them slipped through the fence and disappeared into the darkness as searchlights began to sweep across the perimeter behind them. For 3 days, Kate, Foster, and Nick Sala traveled through the wilderness, avoiding patrols searching for the traitors. They moved mostly at night, sleeping in shifts during the day in whatever shelter they could find. Foster had brought communication equipment that let them monitor military channels. They've expanded the search area, Foster said on the 4th morning, adjusting the portable receiver. They're calling us security risks now, not just deserters. Kate nodded grimly. That's because they know what we know. They had made camp in a small cave hidden behind a waterfall. Nick Sala returned from scouting, moving with the silent grace that still amazed Kate. Path to communication hub clear, the alien reported. 6 guards at entrance. Change rotation at sunset. Their plan was dangerous but simple. Infiltrate the central communications facility that served both human and Vraxian forces, access the secure data servers, and broadcast the evidence of corruption to both species. If we succeed, Foster said, checking his stolen weapon, we'll be either heroes or the most wanted criminals in 2 worlds. Already most wanted, Nixala pointed out with what Kate had come to recognize as dry humor. They spent the day finalizing their plan. Foster would handle the technical aspects, getting past security systems and accessing the data. Nixala would deal with any guards. Kate would coordinate and ensure they all escaped. As dusk approached, they moved into position near the facility, a squat fortified building nestled in a valley between two ridges. Built on neutral ground, it housed the communication systems that supposedly kept the war from escalating to total destruction. In reality, Kate now knew, it was the control center for the profiteers. "Remember," Kate said as they prepared to move, "we only have one shot at this." Nixala went first, using her stealth technology to approach the guards. Kate and Foster waited tensely. One by one, the guards were silently incapacitated, not killed at Kate's insistence. "Clear," Nixala's voice came through their communicators. Foster quickly bypassed the electronic lock and they slipped inside. The facility was surprisingly empty, just a skeleton crew at this hour. "Server room should be 2 levels down," Foster whispered, consulting the schematic Nixala had provided. They moved quickly through the corridors, avoiding the few staff members. When they reached the server room door, Foster plugged a device into the security panel. "This will take a minute," he murmured. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the facility. "They've detected us," Kate said. "Hurry!" The door slid open and they rushed inside. Foster immediately went to work on the main console, while Kate and Nixala secured the door. "Found it," Foster announced after tense minutes of typing. "Shipping. Manifests, payment records, communications between executives and military leaders on both sides." His face hardened. "They've been planning battle locations to maximize casualties for media coverage. Bastards." "How long to download?" Kate asked, hearing footsteps in the corridor outside. "Download isn't enough," Foster replied. "We need to broadcast this now, to everyone." Nixala moved to the door. "They come. Many guards." Foster worked frantically at the console. "I can route this to all communication channels, but I need to bypass security protocols. Need more time." "I'll give you time," Kate said, moving to help Nixala barricade the door. The first explosion hit the door with stunning force. Metal buckled, but held. "Almost there," Foster called. A second explosion tore a hole in the door. Kate and Nixala returned fire as armored guards poured into the corridor. "They're using demolition charges," Kate shouted. "We can't hold them." "Go," Foster said suddenly, his voice calm. "I've got this. Take the east exit. I'll keep them busy here." Kate turned to him. "We're not leaving you." Foster's face was resolute. "Someone has to stay to complete the broadcast and wipe any traces of our entry. I'm the only one who can do it." He looked between them. "This is bigger than us now." Another explosion rocked the room. Part of the ceiling collapsed. "He is right," Nixala said, gripping Kate's arm. "Must go now or all fail." Kate met Foster's eyes one last time. "Make it count." "I will," he promised. "Now go." Kate and Nixala fought their way to the east corridor. Behind them they heard Foster's weapon firing repeatedly as he held off the guards alone. They had just reached the exit when all the screens in the facility suddenly flickered and displayed the same message. "The war is a lie." Data began streaming across every monitor, the evidence now visible to everyone. Foster had succeeded. As Kate and Nixala escaped into the night, gunfire echoed behind them, then silence. The sky over Proxima B dawned clear 3 months after the broadcast that changed everything. Kate stood on a hillside overlooking the new joint settlement, watching as humans and Vraxians worked side by side constructing buildings. The peace was fragile, but real. Kate touched the scar on her cheek, a reminder of their narrow escape that night. She and Nixala had barely made it to safety, hunted by both human and Vraxian forces for weeks afterward, but the evidence Foster had broadcast couldn't be contained or explained away. Public outrage had forced leadership changes on both sides. Thinking about Foster? Nixala asked, approaching silently, as always. Kate nodded. Every day. They walked, together to the small memorial stone they had placed on the hillside. No body had ever been recovered from the communications facility, but they knew Foster hadn't survived. His sacrifice had made their current reality possible. My people call it glory death, Nixala said, placing a strange blue crystal beside the stone. Highest honor. On Earth we would call him a hero, Kate replied, though some still call us traitors. That much was true. While the major fighting had stopped, not everyone embraced the peace. Kate and Nixala received death threats regularly. Some military leaders on both sides had escaped justice and still had loyal followers. Message from Council, Nixala said, showing Kate her communication device. First official diplomatic meeting tomorrow. They request our presence. Kate sighed. As advisors or exhibits? Both probably. Nixala replied with the clicking sound Kate had come to recognize as laughter. They had become symbols of the new peace, the human medic and the Vraxian assassin who chose truth over loyalty to corrupt leaders. Their story had spread across both species, inspiring others to build bridges rather than walls. The medical and cultural exchange program they had established was growing rapidly. Kate taught human medicine to Vraxian healers while learning their techniques in return. Nixala trained security teams composed of both species, building trust through shared skills. Did not expect this outcome, Nixala said, looking out over the settlement. When wounded in cave, expected death. When I found you, I expected to be court-martialed, Kate replied with a small smile. I guess we were both wrong. They walked down toward the settlement, where a small crowd had gathered, outside the newly completed medical center. Children from both species played together nearby, already adapting to the new reality faster than the adults. An older man approached them, General Clark, one of the few high-ranking officers who had supported the peace process from the beginning. Staff, Sergeant Miller, he greeted Kate formally. The diplomatic team from Earth arrives tonight. I hope you'll join us to welcome them. Of course, sir, Kate replied. And Nixala, the general continued, attempting the proper Vraxian greeting gesture somewhat awkwardly. The Vraxian High Council has sent their new ambassador as well. Nixala's posture stiffened slightly. Which clan? For Alak, I believe. Nixala relaxed. Good clan, honorable. As the general left, Kate glanced at her friend. You were worried. Some clans still loyal to old ways, Nixala explained, would not welcome peace. A young Vraxian child approached them cautiously, holding out a small carved object to Kate. She accepted it with a smile and the proper Vraxian gesture of thanks that Nixala had taught her. She says you healed her mother, Nixala translated the child's clicks. Gift is traditional gratitude symbol. Kate knelt to the child's level. Tell her she's welcome in our medical center anytime. As the child ran back to her friends, Kate and Nixala continued toward their shared quarters to prepare for the diplomatic reception. Strange path, Nixala commented. From assassin to peacemaker. From enemy to friend, Kate added. They paused at the top of a small rise, looking back at Foster's memorial stone silhouetted against the evening sky. Worth the cost? Nixala asked quietly. Kate thought of all that had been lost, and all that had been gained. He would think so. Together they walked toward the future they had helped create, a future neither of them could have imagined when a human soldier found an injured alien assassin in a cave and made the choice to heal rather than harm.